There was once a giant who lived on the borders of Giantland, where it touched on the country of common people. Everything in Giantland was so big that the common people saw only a mass of awful mountains and clouds, and no living man had ever come from it, as far as anybody knew, to tell what he had seen in it. Somewhere near these borders, on the other side, by the edge of a great forest, lived a laborer with his wife and a great many children. One day Trixie Wee, as they called her, teased her brother Buffy Bob, till he could not bear it any longer, and gave her a box on the ear. Trixie Wee cried. And Buffy Bob was so sorry, and so ashamed of himself that he cried too, and ran off into the wood. He was so long gone that Trixie began to be frightened, for she was very fond of her brother, and she was so distressed that she had first teased him, and then cried that at last she ran into the wood to look for him, though there was more chance of losing herself than of finding him. And indeed, so it seemed likely to turn out, for, running on without looking, she at length found herself in a valley she knew nothing about. And no wonder, for what she thought was a valley with round rocky sides was no other than the space between two of the roots of a great tree that grew on the borders of Giantland. She climbed over the side of it and went towards what she took for a black round-topped mountain far away, but which she soon discovered to be close to her, and to be a hollow place so great that she could not tell what it was hollowed out of staring at it. She found that it was a doorway, and going nearer and staring harder, she saw the door far in with a knocker of iron upon it, a great many yards above her head, and as large as the anchor of a big ship. Now, nobody had ever been unkind to Trixie Wee, and therefore she was not afraid of anybody. For Buffy Bob's box on the ear she did not think worth considering. So spying a little hole at the bottom of the door, which had been nibbled by some giant mouse, she crept through it, and found herself in an enormous hall. She could not have seen the other end of it at all, except for the great fire that was burning there, diminished to a spark in the distance. Towards this fire she ran as fast as she could, and was not far from it when something fell before her with a great clatter, over which she tumbled and went rolling on the floor. She was not much hurt, however, and got up in a moment. Then she saw that what she had fallen over was not unlike a great iron bucket. When she examined it more closely, she discovered that it was a thimble, and looking up to see who had dropped it, beheld a huge face with spectacles as big as the round windows in a church, bending over her and looking everywhere for the thimble. Trixie immediately laid hold of it in both her arms and lifted about an inch nearer to the nose of the peering giantess. This movement made the old lady see where it was, and her finger popping into it, it vanished from the eyes of Trixie Wee, buried in the folds of a white stocking like a cloud in the sky, which Mrs. Giant was busy darning, for it was Saturday night, and her husband would wear nothing but white stockings on Sunday. To be sure, he did eat little children, but only very little ones, and if ever it crossed his mind that it was wrong to do so, he always said to himself that he wore whiter stockings on Sunday than any other giant in all Giantland.